So I kind of don't know what came over me. Not came over me. I don't know why, but last audiobook I didn't read it on the fandom. I guess it's just a brain fart. So I figured just to make sure. Aha! You see, this is what we missed out on. I'll just go through all of them real quick, see if there's any interesting photos. This is just Adventure Time World. Ooh, it's ooh. Candy Kingdom, Ice Kingdom. Oh, Elemental. Ooh. Okay. And then, oh, these guys. I've seen them before, but I've never. Ew. I didn't know they were. Oh, from something. Okay. Now we can get to reading. Really not a fan. I can't do this one in dark mode. I tried. I checked. But now we can start. Chapter 120. Along came a sister done my way. The story begins in Mrs. Johnson's class, and there's a spider in a tank that the students are eyeing. Hey, Frank, says Lincoln. Frank, over here, buddy, says classmate. He's so cool, says Clyde. He is such a cutie, says Kaito. I agree, Kaito. Frankie is a cute little spider, says the high schooler who's in class with a bunch of middle schoolers for some reason. Now, before we pack up, I need a volunteer to look after Frank this weekend while I'm out of town, says Mrs. Johnson. The kids all volunteer to look after him, especially Lincoln. Come on, please, Mrs. Johnson. Me, pleads Lincoln. Lincoln, says Mrs. Johnson. Yes, exclaims Lincoln. Way to go, Lincoln, says Clyde. All right, buddy, I say. All the other kids moan in disappointment. Oh, who the hell wants to watch over a spider? I'm not arachnophobic, but still. I don't want a spider in my room. I'm bite phobic. I'd like to not get bitten by as many bugs as possible in my life. Whatever. Personal preference. What? Get out of here. Where was I? I went too far. Now, Lincoln, this is a major responsibility. Frank needs to be fed twice, and under no circumstances should he be let out of his cage. Unlike me this weekend. Chuckles Mrs. Johnson. The kids all awkwardly glance at each other over what their teacher meant on that last part, and the bell rings. Well, see you Monday, Mrs. Johnson, says Lincoln, grabbing Frank's cage and heading home. Check it out, Laney. I get to watch Frank this weekend. Cool, huh? Says Lincoln, showing it to Laney, who was uncomfortable as she looks at Frank. Yeah, that's great, Lincoln. Now, do you mind if you put that tank away from me? Asks Laney. What's wrong? Don't like spiders? Asks Lincoln. No, it's not that. It's not that I don't like them. It's just that they creep me out. So, you don't like them, is what I'm hearing. It's okay to not like spiders. No offense, Keto. I'm gonna say sure. I'll say Keto. None taken, Laney. Answers Keto, who's apparently a spider. Is this Oh God, the chapter where they go to some kind of monster school, where we find more mermaids, where JD gets to use his mermaid sense again? Because I feel like there was like a spider girl who was a bad guy, but obviously she must have been attractive, so JD had to go and snap his fingers and make her better, make her a good guy. Something like that. Later, Meavery, Eileen, Keto, Lincoln, Laney, and Clyde were walking home. This is going to be the best weekend ever, says Lincoln. I know, I say. Yeah, oh yeah. How many adventures have you gone on? How many times have you gone into the simulator and gotten to explore some wonderful universe that, wouldn't exist otherwise? But hey, you get to watch a spider this weekend. I'm sure it's gonna rock. I guess kids are usually that stupid, you know. Even if like literally the most exciting thing happened to them the week prior, because it's not fresh in their mind. It is no longer the most exciting thing. Anyways, this is gonna be the best weekend I know. I'm more concerned about Frank being around everyone, says Marie. Yeah, I'm not sure your sister Lenny will think so. Remember Halloween 2 years ago? Halloween 2 years ago? Asks Clyde. Flashback to Halloween from 2 years ago. The doorbell rings. I got it, says Lenny, dressed as a flamingo. She enters the door to see Clyde in a spider costume. Trick or treat. Clyde gets cut off. Ah, spider! Yells Lenny, spraying bug spray everywhere and runs out the door while trampling Clyde. I'm all right, says Clyde, and flashback. She hid in her room for 3 weeks, says Clyde. I saw that. She has an extreme case of arachnophobia, the fear of spiders, I say. Yeah, I remember when we were fighting at Yokai Academy. That's what it's called, Yokai Academy. That you said that Lenny is terrified of spiders, says Keto, who it's important to remember, I guess. That's right, Keto, I say. Lincoln stops and turns to the viewers. If I had to worry about my sisters every time I wanted to do something, I'd never do anything, he says to the viewers. Besides, I have a plan. Stealth mode, he says to Clyde, waving his hand in front of his face and changes his expression and sneaks into the house. Now, now I'm worried, says Clyde. Me too, says Laney. Same here, says Marie. Let's follow him just in case, says Eileen. Well, yeah, you're going in the house. Lincoln opens the door to see if Lenny's around. Spider! Yells Lenny, being chased by Luann holding a rubber spider over her face. Get it away, get it away. Oh, come on, it's fake, says Luann. Luann, you always know how to make me laugh, says Eddie, laughing hysterically. Mind you, this is laughing at somebody else's expense. Something I feel like, modern Luann, you know, J post JD's influence Luann would do. Post what is it? Post machine that took out her evil side. No, no, no. That was for Carol. They just straight up took out her evil side without any machine or something. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but point is, I don't think she'd be doing something like this. God, it's cold in this room. Anyways, Lincoln conceals Frank's tank with a trench coat and hears Walt chirping and covers up his cage with a hoodie. Me, Marie, Eileen, Keto, and Lincoln make it to his and Linka's room and uncovers Frank's tank. There you go, buddy, says Lincoln. Linka is in bed, sick with the stomach flu. Yeah, awesome, I guess. Hey, I guess that's JD's contribution. One of them, anyways. Linka has the stomach flu. I don't know why. Maybe it's Chekhov's flu. Hey, Lincoln, says Linka. Ooh, uh-oh. Grabs a trash can by her bed and vomits in it. That's good. That's great. Boy, that's a nasty stomach bug, I say. No kidding, says Linka. Someone's knocking at the door, and reveals to be Lana and Lola's doll. Someone's knocking at the door and reveals to be Lana and Lola's doll. Can I borrow the big kid scissors? Asks Lana, seeing Frank and gasping. Hey, what's that? Oh ho, he's so creepy. Can I play with him? Can I? Asks Lana. No, no, Frank stays in the cage, says Lincoln. Aw, says Lana. Enter an angry Lola. Lana, give me back my dolly, says Lola, seeing Frank gasping and squealing. He's so adorable, apparently. There aren't too many spiders that can be cute in my eyes. I know there's the fluffy ones. Not the not tarantula. Are they jumping spiders? Which in of itself is kind of scary to think about. But they've got like the big eyes and they look kind of fluffy. They're kind of small-ish. Anyways, has Lenny seen this? Asks the twins. No, and we want to keep it that way, don't we? So shh, says Lincoln. We're trying not to let that happen, I say. Enter Lisa. Excuse me, some of us are trying to solve for why. Okay. Because she's the smart one. She sees Frank. Oh, is that Aphanopelma chalcodes? That's no way that's right. Aphanopelma chalcodes. Charcodes? Charcodes? Charcodes. Asks Lisa. It's a tarantula. My class calls him Frank, answers Lincoln. He's Lincoln's class's pet, and Mrs. Johnson has given Lincoln the task of having him watch over him for the weekend. I say. Lisa gets a closer look, along with the twins in awe. Fascinating specimen. Has Lenny seen this? Asks Lisa. No, that's why I'm trying to keep him in no time. All of the other sisters who are not Lenny, Jerry, Naruto. Well, you see, I don't think Naruto is one of the sisters. I mean, you could have said Naruko. Okay, nope. The list goes on, and whatever. All the other sisters who are not Lenny, Jerry, Naruto, Sakura, Fu, Hinata, Pakura, Jessie, Woody, and Eddie are gathering around Frank's tank and ogling him. Secret, finishes Lincoln. The girls keep looking at him. Has Lenny seen it? Asks Luna. Guys, for the last time. Lenny's not going to see. Lincoln gets cut off. Lenny opens the door. See what? Asks Lenny. Nothing, says everyone, covering up Frank's tank. Frank tank. Lenny gasps and her siblings gasp back. What? I guess. Oh my gosh, are you planning a surprise party for me? Wait, don't tell me. I want to be surprised, says Lenny, leaving. The others sigh with relief. Whew, that was a close one, says Marie. That was close. You better know what you're doing, Lincoln, says Lori, leaving with the others. Leaving Lincoln to it. Leaving Lincoln to it. Well, whatever. Me too, big brother, says Lily. Me, Marie, Eileen, and Kaito are going downstairs, Lincoln, I say. Okay, guys, says Lincoln. We leave his room. Lincoln looks in the tank and sees that Frank is looking a little upset. Hey, you look a little sluggish, buddy. Bet you'd really like to get out and stretch your legs. I guess a few minutes wouldn't hurt, says Lincoln, carefully placing Frank out of his tank and onto his drawer. Now, where did I put those crickets? Asks Lincoln, getting them out of his backpack. Maybe this will cheer you up. He notices he's gone. Frank, where'd you go? Frank, come out. This isn't funny. Beat. Crud. He gets a magnifying glass and looks for Frank. Where are you? Frank, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Bumps into the twins. Couldn't Linka have told him where? I feel like Linka, being sick and all, probably doesn't have much to do in bed. So maybe she was watching the tarantula. Whatever. Maybe she was vomiting at just the right moment. Where's who? Asks the twins. There you are, the two cutest twins in town. Found 'em. See ya, says Lincoln, taking off while faking relief. He was talking about me, says Lola. I sure hope so, says Lana. The twins go back to skipping rope. Lincoln checks Lisa's research table and knocks over a few of her beakers. What is Schrodinger's cat? Asks Lisa. Sorry, Lisa, I'll clean. What? What? Oh, what in Schrodinger's cat? Exclaims Lisa. Sorry, Lisa, I'll clean it up later, says Lincoln. An explosion occurs which blows Cliff away, and Lynn comes running out of her room playing basketball, which worries Lincoln. Lynn, freeze, says Lincoln. We're playing freeze tag? Cool, says Lynn, freezing. Lincoln checks Luna in Luann's room and gets bonked by Luna's drumstick during her jam session. Ow, says Lincoln. Dude, says Luna. Oops. Really dig what you're laying down there, sis, says Lincoln, checking their closet and sees a spider and thinks it's Frank. Gotcha, says Lincoln. What the? What are you doing with my fake spider? Asks Luann, taking off her Groucho Marx glasses while she was reading a comedy for dummies book. Fake? Oh, nothing, says Lincoln, handing it back. Here, and here's your fake dog poop. I don't have any fake dog poop. Ha 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 ha. Lincoln revels in disgust. Just kidding, says Luann. They both laugh and Lincoln resumes his search. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? God, I'm probably saying that wrong. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Maybe. Says Lincoln, checking under the bathroom door. Lori bursts open the door. What are you doing, you weirdo? I'm looking for my contact lens. Oh, there it is, says Lincoln, picking up a lint ball and pits it in his eye. Pits it? I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be puts it in his eye, making it squint. That's better, he says, running off to his room past Lynn, who's still standing still. Can I unfreeze now? Asks Lynn through clenched teeth. Oh, can I unfreeze now? Asks Lynn through clenched teeth. Uh oh, I sense a disturbance in the force, I say, sensing something. Me too, says Marie, who I didn't know was force sensitive. Crud, 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 says Lincoln, frantic. The others open the door. All right, Lincoln, you better wear You don't wear contacts. What is going on? Asks Lori. You've been acting even weirder than usual, bro, says Luna. Yeah, there's no way you think Lana is cute, says Lola. Lana picks her nose in agreement, and they demand answers. Okay, I'll tell you. Well, Frank was looking sluggish, so I took him out of his cage to get a little exercise, and then I turned to get the crickets, and he was gone, says Lincoln. Lincoln! I'm sorry, is is JD gonna reprimand Lincoln or something? Lincoln, I say, the girls ramble about Lincoln's idiocy and worry about Lenny finding out about Frank. Lenny appears. What are you whispering about? Oh, right, my surprise party. Don't worry, I won't tell, says Lenny. The second she turns around, Frank is shown to be on her back, and the others scream in horror and follow them to the kitchen. See, I know nothing. Just making a smoothie, says Lenny, opening the fridge to get her ingredients. When her back is turned, it's revealed that Frank is gone again. They mutter about the issue at hand and fear what could happen next. Oh, I need milk, says Lenny, opening the fridge where Frank happens to be on the milk bottle. Oh no. Lenny, I say, for no, what? Wait, says Lisa, slamming the fridge shut. You're lactose intolerant. No, I'm not. I'm tolerant of everyone, whether they lactose or not. Ha ha ha! That's funny. Ha ha ha! Says Lenny, opening the fridge again. No! Scream all the siblings, noticing Frank's not in that spot anymore. Huh. They sigh with relief. Frank is scurrying across the floor, and Luna traps him under a pot. Lenny turns around to see what's going on, and Luna and Lily pretend to have a jam session by banging pots and pans and utensils together. Lenny digs the beat, and she's too distracted by the tune. They look under the pot to see Frank escaped again. Naturally. So, who wants to try my new recipe? It's curds and, says Lenny, taking a sip while Lincoln notices Frank on the ceiling light. Way too much spinach, I guess. Her siblings gasp. Ugh, I know. What was I thinking? Frank plops right onto her glass. What am I reading? Ha, nice try, Luann, but I'm not falling for another one of your fake spiders, though this one looks pretty real, says Lenny. Uh, 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 I say, panicking. That's because it is real. First, fuck, sure. Oh, great. Yeah, thanks, James. What would we do without you? Okay. Frank blinks, leading Lenny to realize. Ah, spider! She screams, busting out the bug spray. Oh no, you don't, says Vuri. Vuri fires a blast of water and forms a protective bubble around Frank as Lenny unleashes a massive spray cloud to ensure she got Frank. Worst surprise party ever, says Lenny, running off in fury. The gas cleared and the water bubble is there, and Frank is okay. That was a close one, says Vuri. Nice savory, says Keto. I keep changing it every time. I keep changing it. Yeah, Lincoln, go get Frank's cage. We'll make sure Lenny doesn't come back, I say. Okay, says Lincoln, leaving and going into his room, and comes back with Frank's cage. Lincoln has Frank's cage with Frank in it. Yeah, this is all Lenny's fault, says Lori. What? How is this Lenny's fault? I agree. Lenny can't get over her fear of spiders, says Gabriella in a British accent that I'm not going to do. The others agree, except Lincoln. Guys, this isn't Lenny's fault, it's mine, says Lincoln. Yes, it is. Thank you. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Lenny is washing her hands to wash away any and all tracings of Frank. Lenny places her hand on his shoulder. I know you wanted to take care of him, but I can tell it was a huge responsibility. I wish I could have helped you despite my dislike of spiders, says Laney. You, says Lenny, overhearing Lincoln. No, Laney, it's all my fault. I knew Lenny was afraid of spiders, but I brought Frank home. Anyway, it was a bad idea. I guess I deserve to have my whole class hate me. If they will hate you, they're gonna have to hate me too. I may be a Jurogumo, but I have feelings and compassion, says Keto. What are we talking about? Thanks, Keto, says Lincoln. Cliff prematurely coughs up a hairball. You gross, Cliff. Show some respect, says Lola. He's a cat, Lola. It's what they do. I say. Ah, spiders, says question mark, question mark, question mark. Is there another spider in here, asks Lincoln. I don't think so. And that wasn't Lenny. I know that scream, says Clyde. Yeah, that was Mr. Lynn, I say. Another flashback to last Halloween. Clyde had come to after Lenny had mistaken him for a spider and attacked him. Oh, hi, Mr. Loud. Trick or treat. He gets cut off. Clyde gets cut off. Ah, spider, says Lynn Sr., trampling Clyde and running after Lenny. I'm all right, says Clyde, and flashback. Dad's afraid of spiders? Asks Luna, grinning. Now I know who Lenny got it from, says Marie. A pest control van pulls up out front. And it looks like he's got the exterminator on speed dial, says Lori, concerned. Uh-oh, says Keto. The kids watch as the exterminator gets out of his van and notices two caterpillars. Oh, hello, cute little caterpillar family, says the exterminator, shooting them with bug killer and laughing wickedly. It's okay, sir. There's been a misunderstanding. You don't need to kill the spider, says Lincoln. Huh? What are you? A spider hugger? Nobody stops me from getting my spider, says the exterminator. He heads into the house to find and kill Frank. What is happening? I thought Frank's in his cage. Nobody in their right mind would go into somebody's house, see a spider in an obvious cage, terrarium, and just like stick their little gas gun in there and kill it. That's horrible. Who would do that? There is no threat. It's over. We're done. Whatever. I gotta stop him, says Lincoln. We can help. Oh, we can help, says Lynn, still in her freeze tag pose and through clenched teeth. I can help too, says Clyde. They all request Lincoln to let them help him. Okay, let's go, says Lincoln. The others head in to do their job, but Lynn is hopping about. Lincoln runs up to her and tags her. Unfreeze, says Lincoln. Lynn now hustles. Spider this way, reads the exterminator, seeing a sign. The arrow is pointing to the simulator. The exterminator was in the simulator, and Keto, Lola, Lainey, Lana, Luann, and Marie were there. What the hell could they possibly do? Me and Lisa were in the control room. This is gonna be good, I say. The simulator activated, and they were in a huge, dense forest. Hey, where am I? Asks the exterminator. You're about to get your butt kicked? For what? Doing his job? He was called to exterminate a spider. I mean, granted, he was being unreasonable by not listening to Lincoln, but I don't know. The ends do not justify the means, or the means don't justify. Whatever. Let's see what you fear the most. Let me just start over. You're about to get your butt kicked. If you want to get the spider, you've got to go through us. Let's see what you fear most, says Laney, making mice noises, and a huge swarm of mice crawled after him. Ah, mice, screams the exterminator, climbing up a tree in total fear. How about this batty development, says Duane, forming a colony of bats made of pure light, and they flew around the exterminator. Bats, says the exterminator, falling off the tree with a big crash. Okay, what? How about this? Fire style, like it's always got to be some magic thing. Hey, if I was, not that I would, but if I was doing this, I'd just make like gigantic spiders, gigantic mice, vermin, that type of stuff. Why does it always have to be like a new special move? Whatever. How about this? Fire style red spider, says Lola. Lola formed a giant spider of pure fire and charged toward the exterminator, and he jumped out of the way. That was not funny, you ugly brat, says the exterminator. We all gasp. He just made a huge mistake. Uh-oh, he's in for it now, says the Wan. Lola was enraged, and her face turned blazing red, and her aura of fire exploded out and ignited all the trees in the area, and everything was on fire. No one calls me ugly, screams Lola in extreme rage and fury. This is so cool. Lola went after the exterminator and savagely pulverized him into oblivion with incredible fury and rage and more. Because he deserves that. What was his sins? Being a little unreasonable and calling a girl ugly? Screw it! Torture him! When she stopped, 20 minutes later, Lola snapped out of it and realized what had happened and broke down crying, and Lainey comforted her. Why are we trying to make this an emotional thing? What am I supposed to be like, oh, I feel bad for the girl who's very. I'm not going to comfort you just because you're crying, oh, I feel so bad. When stuff like this happens, it usually takes a lot more to set off somebody like this than calling them ugly, you know? Like, what if Spider Man killed a guy and then broke down crying afterwards because that guy killed, uh, Uncle Ben? Easy as pie. Or I shouldn't get too close to the fan. You might pick it up. That would make sense. He almost killed Ben. He did kill Ben. And maybe he deserved it, but even still, it's a big deal killing a person. Meanwhile, Lola's acting like something similar happened, all because she got called ugly. Just stupid. Oh, so stupid. The exterminator was rushed to the hospital, and I'm sure he will be looking to press charges. I mean, hey, that'd be one hell of a payday. Then again, I'm sure JD, what with his immense wealth, would be able to afford just about the best lawyer. Maybe one with big teeth and likes to mud a lot and doesn't believe a certain other person graduated from Harvard Law. And his name is Lewis. Anyways, then again, no, actually, you see, what he would do is he'd represent himself in court. Not because he's trained or anything, but because he just decided to try it, and turns out he's really good at being a lawyer. Anyways, was rushed to the hospital, and he now had what's called Lola shock syndrome. Fucking awesome, dude. The exercise ended, and it was a ruse. Oh, I didn't even. Oh, I was tricked. That takes care of that, says Lincoln. I heard what you said outside, and besides, maybe spiders aren't so bad after all, says Lenny. I always thought Frank was a strange name for a female spider, says Lisa. Frank's a girl? Asks Lincoln. Mm-hmm. I can tell from the markings. Plus, female spiders always get sluggish before they give birth, says Lisa. That's quite a revelation. I didn't know about the markings either, I say. Oh, that's crazy. JD didn't know something? Frank's gonna be a mommy? Asks Clyde. All right, says Keto. Oh, say the sisters. Monday, Frank has now been renamed Francis. It's more of a gender neutral name. And all the sisters who are not Lenny bid farewell to her. I'll miss you, says Lincoln. I don't know why I stopped there. I'll miss you, Frank. But I'm glad things are gonna be back to normal around here, says Lincoln. In her room, Lenny is brushing her hair. 20, 21, 22, 23, she says. However, it seems Frances laid her egg sac in the vents, and babies hatch and scurry into Lenny's room. That's horrifying. Ah, spiders, says Lenny. Me, Avery, Lincoln, Laney, Jerry, and Keto have looks on our faces that just reads, uh-oh. The end. Another fanfiction complete. I wanted to do this one for a while. I made up the fight with the exterminator. Oh, really? You mean that isn't in the original? It made it a more exciting fight. Sure. Let me know what you all think. I hated it. I was having a big, small case of writer's block, but I'm back, baby. Oh, God. We could be so lucky. See you all next time. I'm not super sure about the order that I'm supposed to read these because here on Fandom, it goes the one I just read, Long Came His Sister. Then it goes, I've already forgotten. It goes the Shinobi something part one, and then it goes Facing Demons, and then it goes Shinobi part two. But in the ebook, it goes Along Came a Sister, then this one Facing Demons, and then the two Shinobi. So I'm just gonna do Facing Demons, even if it's a little out of order. Maybe, I don't know. Who cares? Chapter 121, Facing Demons. It starts late at night in Lincoln and Linka's room. It was 2 a.m. and Linka was asleep and having a ow my ow and having a beautiful dream. But Lincoln was sweating and thrashing around in his bed. By the way, what point was it? What point did Linka having a stomach flu serve in the last? Who cares? No, don't take, says Lincoln. Lincoln was having a horrific nightmare. Lincoln was running with a couple of teenage girls, and they were running from the psycho farmer. All right, and the harvester. The farmer had them pinned against the wall, and he swung his scythe at them. Lincoln woke up and let out a terrifying, blood-curdling scream of sheer horror. Horror! Ah! Yells Lincoln. The scream woke everyone up. Me and Viri heard it. Oh, wow. Because I didn't know that until you mentioned it. What time is it? Okay, I got time. Oh no, I say. Me and Viri slide down to Lincoln and Linka's room. Lincoln, are you all right? Asks Linka. Lincoln was in a state of total horror and fear. He was totally scared out of his mind. Me and Viri arrive in his room and sat by him. Lincoln, are you all right? I ask. The har har har, says Lincoln. You had a nightmare about the harvester? I ask. Yeah, it was horrible, says Lincoln. Lincoln hugged Viri and cried hard. Like, the only type of mental distress that this guy knows is crying and being afraid. Probably doesn't even know what a panic attack is, or denial, maybe. Whatever. Lincoln's sisters and his mom and dad came in. Yep, yep. In that order, right? It goes Lincoln and JD and Viri, the two people who beat out the parents and sisters of the guy of, who are related to the guy that they're whatever. Just just read. I can't keep you can't keep getting away with this. Anyways, Lincoln, we heard you scream. Are you all right? Asks Lori. He had a horrific nightmare about the harvester, says Vuri. That's horrible, says Lynn Sr. It must have been really scary in order to cause him to scream like that, says Linka. What's the harvester? Asks Gabriella. It's a really scary slasher film about a farmer that went mad and became a homicidal maniac. He slashes apart his victims and kills them and takes their organs. I say. We were at the movie theater and Lincoln was scared out of his mind because of it when he came out, says Lenny. I remember that. Lincoln should not have gone to that movie, says Rita. Yeah, Lincoln, how many nightmares have you had about the harvester? I ask. Tut 10 over the last 6 days? What do you mean 6 days? Like, I guess you can have multiple dreams in one night, maybe. It's not impossible. Whatever, says Lincoln, terrified. Were they all the same nightmare? Asks Vuri. If he's had. Hold on. Yes, and getting worse every time. And by that logic, he probably should have screamed with at least similar intensity, and thus this should not be the first time you're discussing this, but who cares? Who cares? That takes thought. That takes thought and good writing prowess. Were they all the same nightmare? Yes, and getting worse every time. Lincoln's having recurring nightmare problems, says Laney. Lincoln is highly likely to develop somnophobia if this keeps up coming on, says Lisa. Somnophobia? Asks Lori. It's the fear of going to sleep. It can damage your mind psychologically. Yeah, I say. Yeah, it can cause mood swings, irritability, panic attacks, and it can sometimes even kill you because of extreme lack of sleep, says Laney. We can't let Lincoln keep suffering like this, says Lucy. Put him out of his misery. We have to help him, says Lily. Yeah, we have to stop this. Me, Marie, Gabriella, Max, Nudge. Who the hell is Nudge? Luann, Lincoln, Lucy, Laney, Lana, Lola, Penny, Lisa, and Lily are gonna go into Lincoln's nightmare and help him face his nightmares. Yep. I feel like therapy would be step one, but plan one, first thing you'd try, but just skip straight into Freddy Kruegering into his dream world. Whatever. And I have a wait. Oh, yeah, into his faces nightmares. I say, and I have a solution on how we can do it. Siblings and friends, follow me, says Lisa. Lisa led us to the simulator and had Lincoln in a bed and had some wires on his head. I've hooked up Lincoln to my prototype dream environment machine. Like, fool, you don't have to do this. All right, all you have to do, beep boop bop, type something into the simulator, and oh wow, it's simulating Lincoln's dream. Oh, but turns out it was actually his real dream the whole time. And then boom, done. Whatever. It's hooked up to the simulator and it will allow us to fight in Lincoln's dream and eliminate the very source of his nightmares. Psychonauts, yeah, says Lisa. That's perfect, I say. Is this going to help me, guys? Asks Lincoln. Don't worry, elder brother. It will work no problem, says Lisa. Get some sleep, buddy, I say. Okay, says Lincoln. In the simulator, activated as Lincoln fell asleep, and me, Veri, Gabriela, Max Nudge, Luann, Linka, Lucy, Laney, Lana, and Lola, Penny, Lisa, and Lily found ourselves in the farm of the harvester. We're in, I say. Whoa, this place looks totally dry and desolate, says Veri. It seems to have been ravaged by an extreme drought, says Lisa. We hear a scream coming from the farmhouse. They're in the farmhouse, says Laney. Let's go. We don't have a moment to lose, I say. We run into the farmhouse, and we all see the farmer chasing after Lincoln and two teenage girls. He has them cornered, and I swooped in and kicked him in the back. Is this a private party, or can anybody join? I say. That's very cool. That's very cool. JD, Veri, guys, how did you all get here? I feel like you should know, asks Lincoln. This is all a dream, Lincoln. In here, you can do anything you want. I say, really? Asks Lincoln. Yeah, you got to fight the harvester, and you can't let him. You got to fight the harvester, and you can't let him plague you anymore, says Free. Lincoln then was surging with courage and valor. You're right. I'm Lincoln Loud, Shinobi, proud brother and hero of Royal Woods, says Lincoln. That's the spirit, buddy. Let's get him, I say. If this is a dream, then I can do this, says Lincoln. Lincoln goes Super Angel 2. That's bigger than Super Angel 1. And he had an orange aura, and his hair was orange and waving around, and his eyes were teal blue, and his wings were neon orange. So cool. I feel like having white hair is cooler than having orange hair, but what do I know? Like white hair when you're young. Obviously, your hair will slowly turn white as you age, but whatever. The farmer got up and he was enraged and his eyes were glowing red with pure evil. I punched him in the face. Oh, and sent him crashing through the wall and he landed outside. I picked up his scythe that he dropped and broke it on my leg. Never again, you psychotic homicidal butcher, I say. We went outside and faced the farmer. Laney saw the farmer's cooler and fired, an energy ball and vaporized it in a fiery explosion. You all ruined everything. That was my new crop and I was going to make millions, says the farmer, enraged. You're nothing more than a homicidal maniac that has absolutely no regard for human life at all. It's time for you to die. Lincoln flew out and he was ready to fight. You've plagued my life for far too long, you monster, says Lincoln. It's payback time for all the suffering and death you've caused, says Laney. Laney went super. Sure. We won't let you get away with hurting our friends. Our best friend, says Veri. And our brother, says Lucy. You're heading to the harvester. You're heading to the harvester? Ha ha ha, get it? But seriously, you're gonna pay for hurting my little bro, says the man. Fucking hilarious joke. Love the jokes, Luann, but now's not the time. I say, let's go, says Veri. It's Terror Time Again by Sky Cycle Plays. Never heard of it. Veri went Super Angel 2. And we went and we went at the farmer, and I punched him in the face and knock out some of his teeth. Penny kicked him in the back and leg sweeped him and kicked him into the air. Nice one, Penny, says Lily. Thanks, Lily. I'm tired. Thanks, Lily, says Penny. Lily flew up to him and dealt a spinning axe kick to his stomach. My nose is a little stuffy. Max and Nudge spread their wings and pulverized him with a barrage of punches and kicks. Oh my god. Here we go. Here we go. The farmer landed on the ground and Lola threw lots of fireballs at him and fired a stream of fire as well as set the whole farm and area on fire. The farmer ran into his barn and the fire hit his grain silo and set it on fire and it exploded. That's not how a grain silo works, I don't think. Destroying the barn and flaming debris rained down. The farmer was on the ground and he found a machete. Naturally, Luann fired a beam of red light from above, and it burned through his left shoulder, and she even created hummingbirds made of pure light, and they went at the farmer. The farmer ran in the light. Birds exploded and blew him into a shed. Marie fired a blast of water and blew him into his tractor. Just sure, every single thing on his farm we gotta launch this guy into. Lana fired numerous icicles at him, and they embedded in the tractor. One of them cut a wire, and another hit the fuel tank. In the tractor, exploded. As the farmer ran, it blew him away. Oh, and where did he land? Oh, on the ground. Lucy formed a scythe made of black lightning and cut the ground, and she called upon the ghosts of all the farmer's victims, and they went after him, and he went into his body. They lifted him up and slammed him into the ground with incredible force. The ghosts exited his body, and the farmer got up. Lincoln fired a blast of lightning at the farmer, and he ran, and a chain of explosions followed him. Lady formed a sword made of bramble vines, and she and the farmer engaged in a savage and brutal sword fight. Fucking sure. Spikes were flying everywhere, and one landed on a propane tank. Wow, great. What happens after that? By the farmhouse, and it exploded. Whoa, in a raging fireball. The farmhouse exploded with it, and it was completely destroyed. The teenagers, Carrie and Morgan, looked on in awe as we were making sure that the farmer pays for his crimes. Wow, these guys are amazing, says Carrie. Yeah, but let's help them out. If this is all a dream, then we can do anything we want too, says Morgan. Frank, technically only if Lincoln allows it, since you're, I assume, part of his dream. Laney slashed the farmer's hands off, and acid from her sword burned him bad, and he screamed in excruciating pain. That was for all the people you killed, says Laney. This is for me. This is for me for terrorizing me as I watched you on the big screen, says Lincoln. Lincoln headbutted him and kicked him in the crotch and kneed him in the face. Gabriella Lincoln and Linka fired a blast of lightning at the farmer and electrocuted him. It's over, farmer. You're finished, I say. Carrie and Morgan came and punched and kicked the farmer and did all kinds of martial arts moves on him, naturally. This is for my boyfriend, says Carrie. Carrie punched him in the stomach and kicked him in the mouth and blasted him with black fire. I guess. This is for my best friend, says Morgan. Morgan kicked him in the face and took a pocket knife. I don't know. Carrie did black fire, magic shit. I just kind of feel like a black knife. Not black knife. Black knife? Anyways, pocket knife. Bit of a step down, but whatever. Slashed his eyes out and formed a sword made of liquid metal. We'll start with that. And slashed his remaining arm off. The farmer screamed in pain and he was even more enraged. Yeah, that's how you know they're evil. If after like brutally murdering them and mutilating them, torturing them and all that, instead of being all like stop, please, it hurts, they just get angrier and more evil. So that you don't even have to feel bad about the horrible things you're doing. Lisa used her technokinetic powers and made a lava gun, naturally, out of debris and fired a glob of lava into the farmer's face. This was for the terror and horror of your crimes against humanity. Yep, I mean, this is supposedly just a fucking fictional movie to them, but then again, I've gone into plenty of movies using the simulator, so what the hell do I care? Crimes against you, I don't think prison could be appropriate for you. Would be appropriate for you. Oh, so yeah. I don't think he's gonna make it. Even if you like put him in an ambulance right now, I don't think he's gonna make it. Lincoln formed a disc made of pure energy. What, like Frieza? This is for terrorizing my life. Destructo disc. It might actually be a goddamn Dragon Ball thing. Lincoln threw the disc at the farmer, and it sliced him in half, right down the middle, and killed him instantly. Have a good time in the netherworld and never again. That's so cool. Says Lincoln, great job, Linky, says Lola. Thanks, Lola, says Lincoln. I got to admit you literally are the bravest big brother we know, says Lana. Yeah, what a brave big brother. Crying after a nightmare woke him up. And only deciding to stand up to that nightmare after his like 20 fucking sisters and 50 fucking friends, all with superpowers, come in and beat the guy to a bloody pulp. So brave. Oh, round of applause. Let me incinerate the body, says Lola. Go for it, Lola, I say. Lola fired a stream of fire and she incinerated the body. That takes care of that monster, says Carrie. Yeah, good riddance. Lincoln, you are the bravest and most amazing boy we've ever met. We can't thank you enough for saving both our lives, says Morgan. Carrie and Morgan kissed both of his cheeks and he blushed an atomic bright red. Aren't these like teenagers? Thanks, girl, says Lincoln. We're very proud of you, buddy. You finally conquered your fear of the movie The Harvester. I say, thanks, guys. I owe it all to all of you. It should be time for me to wake up now, says Lincoln. Me too, says Carrie. Oh, so they're sharing a dream, I guess. What? It really is Freddy Krueger rules. I think. I don't actually know. Same here, JD. It was really cool seeing you here in our dream, says Morgan. Same here, Morgan. You too, Carrie. See you both at school, I say. Turns out Carrie and Morgan were in the dream too. The simulator deactivated and we went back to bed to Link. We I'm having a heart attack, and we went back to Lincoln in the bed. He woke up better than ever. Hey guys, says Lincoln. How do you feel, Lincoln? I ask. Better than ever. I'm no longer afraid of the harvester. I can't believe I let my fear consume me like that, says Lincoln. It was probably some dormant thoughts that reawokened the horrific fear from the slasher film in you, says Lisa. That might be it, says Lincoln. Fucking sure, might be. I'm glad you're all right, Lincoln, says Linka. Me too, buddy. Me too, buddy, I say. I'm glad you're not afraid anymore, Linky. Now I need to go get some more beauty sleep, says Lola. I'm sorry I woke you, Lola, says Lincoln. It's all right. You had a bad dream and we had to help you out, says Lola. I'm glad we could all help out our big brother, says Laney. Me too, Lincoln. Oh, kill me. This was one of the things you could never dream of. Rimshot, ha ha ha, get it? Asks Luann. Me, Avery, Gabriella, and Penny laughed. Good one, Luann, I say. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Good one, says Lynn Sr. We're glad we got to help and help. We're glad you got help and conquered your fear, sweetie, says Rita. Thanks, Mom. Lori, do you know two girls named Carrie and Morgan? Asks Lincoln. Yeah, they go to school with me, and they're two of my best friends, naturally. Why? Asks Lori. I think they saw the harvester and were scared out of their minds, too. Wasn't Lori there? Wasn't Lori in there with them? Whatever. I mean, if she was, then she would have seen Carrie and Morgan. Whatever. Whatever. Says Lincoln. That's interesting, says Laney. I didn't expect you, Carrie, and Morgan to appear in the same nightmare all at once, says Marie. That is unusual. What are the odds of that? Asks Lori. Probably an astronomical number. Number. With 7.4 billion plus people on the planet, the odds of such an occurrence would be quite high. Yeah, says Lisa. That's probably right, says Lynn. But I'm glad you're all better, Linky, says Lenny. Me too, dude, says Luna. Let's get some more sleep. It's 5:35 a.m. Holy shit, it is. No, I'm joking. Fooled you. It's 5:35 a.m. I say. Yeah, but this turned out to be a really good adventure for all of us, says Lincoln. It sure was, dude. Says Ember, glad you're alright, bro. Says Shannon, we all go back to sleep. And at 8 a.m., we woke up and got some breakfast and went to school. The end. Another fanfiction completed. This one came out of the blue for me. The power of the dream world has an infinite number of possibilities and more. In a dream, you can do anything you want. There are dreams that are good, and there are nightmares, and they are the worst kind. Oh! Well, now I know. Let me know what you all think. Hated it. See you next time. Chapter 122, Angel Shinobi Part 1. Me and Varia in the simulator. Lisa collab. Is this going to be more Naruto stuff? Shinobi. Angel Shinobi. It's going to be JD becoming like a super duper. He'll become the Hokage. Whatever that means. Me and Varia in the simulator. Lisa calibrated it so that 30 seconds is 1 day. Okay. Brain fart. I was going to say something and then I just completely forgot. The simulator activated and we both found ourselves in the leaf. Great, we're back. During when Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were having their true Genin test at Training Ground 7. We hid in the trees on the opposite side of the training ground, and we see Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura bored out of their minds as they waited for Kakashi. Kakashi arrived and went over the test, and it began. Naruto was facing Kakashi. Is this when we move? Asks Vuri. Almost, I say. During the fight, Sakura saw Kakashi behind Naruto. Naruto, watch out! He's going to destroy you, says Sakura. Too late. Leaf Village secret finger jutsu, says Kakashi. I snapped my fingers, and as Kakashi was about to poke Naruto in the butt, oh. Oh, am I thinking of, isn't it like 1,000 years of pain? Or like some guy puts both hands together in like a pointed, and sticks it up your butt. Something like that. Change the subject. Broke Naruto in the butt. Naruto was enveloped in a blinding white light as bright as a million suns and a massive vortex of white fire enveloping him and exploded high into the sky. The sky rapidly darkened with storm clouds and golden rays of the sun shined through and the divine singing of angels was heard all over the village. What's happening? Asks Sakura. I have no idea. Naruto's chakra is rising fast, says Kakashi. Great! Where is he? I don't see him, exclaims Sasuke. Naruto's chakra and energy levels continue to rise at an astronomical rate. When the white fire vortex faded, a figure came down from the clouds. It was Naruto, and he was forever changed. Naturally, he had longer blonde hair in a cron mage. Don't know what that means. His eyes were still blue, but they had the blue sky and blowing clouds in the sclera. Cool, I guess. Black shirt and Anbu pants, black combat boots, dark blue trench coat with the sleeves torn off. Had a super strong physique like Goku's, and he had angel wings that were sky blue. He had the kanji for champion of the leaf on the back of his coat, the symbol for anti-Uchiha. Okay. The symbol for anti-Uchiha on it, and the kanji for death to Uchiha. Cool. And the kanji for his motto, the only good Uchiha is a dead Uchiha. Okay. Naruto landed on the ground and Kakashi and Sakura were floored. Naruto, is that really you? Asks Kakashi. It still is me, brother Kakashi, says Naruto. What happened to you? You look like a seasoned veteran shinobi, says Kakashi. Let's just say it was a must needed improvement. I was like, wait, did I misread that or no, that's it's much needed improvement, but whatever. Sakura came out and she was oh, Sakura came out and she was aroused by his change. That's so because that's good. That's nice. Hey, I'm glad I read that. Naruto, what happened to you? You've completely changed into a whole new person, says Sakura. It was for the better, Sakura, reiterates Naruto. You can thank me for that, says I. Minri walked up to them. And who are you? And you two are Jesus. Jesus would be right though. asks Kakashi. The name is J.D. Nutson, and she's my fiancée Fari. I say, we want to help out and train Team 7 into becoming a powerful force for good, says Fari. I had lots of hindrance spell seals placed on me, and they suppressed my true potential, as well as my full power. When I was powering up, I met my mom and dad in my subconscious. My real name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, son of Kushina Uzumaki and the Red Hot Habanero, and the Leaf's Red Death, and Minato Namikaze, the Leaf's Yellow Flash, and the fourth Hokage. Just stab me, take my life. Kakashi and Sakura gasped. There's no way that you're the son of the fourth Hokage. It can't, exclaims Sasuke. Lord Hokage appeared. It's all true, Sasuke. Naruto is indeed the son of my successor, Minato Namikaze, the late fourth Hokage, and his heritage was hidden because of his enemies in the Hidden Rock. Over in the Hidden Rock, says the third Hokage. Hey, Grandpa, says Naruto. Naruto, I love your new look. You look like seasoned veteran shinobi, says third Hokage. Yeah, he gets that a lot, I guess. I believe it, says Naruto. Naruto had lots of hindrance seals placed on him that suppressed his true self. We know. Like, dear God, even if he hadn't said it this very chapter, we still would have known. Because this is the 18th time you've done this stupid story. You know, maybe Naruto is a perfectly fine anime. Maybe it's even one of the best. But the more I read this stuff, it just makes me never ever want to watch it, actually. It's not good of me. Give it a chance. But still, oh my God. Even if it's 1% as stupid as it feels reading this, what the hell? Like, I shouldn't read ahead. I find it hard to, no, yeah, that's the real issue. If I, because God forbid I recognize anything that JD has written about, I just get a little bit of PTSD. Like, wait, this is the part where Kakashi fights Naruto. Just like in chapter 238, some bullshit like that. Anyways, suppose it's true self, I say, and I'm willing to bet 50 bowls of Ichiraku ramen that it was those imbeciles on the civilian council that put them on me. On him, says Furi. You don't really have to make that bet since you know the answer. Then again, I guess that would be the reason why you would make the bet. In which case, you'd be lying. I'm getting. It's unimportant. I have a feeling you're right, Furi, says Kakashi. Kakashi sensei. Naruto looks exactly like the fourth Hokage. I can't believe we all missed that, says Sakura. The resemblance is completely uncanny, isn't it? I ask. Sakura fell to the ground in a state of shock. I do look like Dad, don't I? Asks Naruto. You sure do, Naruto. Minato Namikaze was also my sensei when I was a genin, says Kakashi. That was back during the Third Great War, I say. Yes, yes, says Kakashi. Oops. That's right, Kakashi Hatake, Rin Nohara, and Obito Uchiha were your father's students, Naruto. He treated his entire team like they were part of his whole family, says the third Hokage. I can't believe it, says Naruto. Sasuke, however, refused to believe it. This is all a bunch of lies. That loser is and always will be a loser, says Sasuke. Preach. Sasuke, shut up, says Kakashi. I have a very strong feeling that those dumb butt faces on the civilian council ordered Kakashi to train Sasuke and focus only on Sasuke and only him and leave Naruto and Sakura trailing through the mud, I say. Those stupid fools, says Furi. I have a feeling you both are right, says third Hokage. I'm getting sick of that. I'm sick of them like saying something that it's just like, oh yeah, if we just tell them this now, it would solve a lot of the issues I have with the story. Yeah, but what if they don't believe it? Well, just write in. Oh, I have a good feeling that you're right. Instead of actual convincing. Because like I feel like in the original in Naruto, the civilian council is a lot less outwardly evil, and it's probably a little bit harder to believe that they would have such malicious intent. Otherwise, I don't know, why would anybody ever let these clearly not having the best interest in mind council, that was a fucking word, have so much sway over whatever the fucking leaf is? I don't know. But that's just me. I guess I'd have to watch. Oops. I have a feeling you're both alright, Sister Hokage. They are, Lord Hokage. I was ordered by the civilian council to pass the team no matter what and train the precious Sasuke and only him, says Kakashi. Those fools, says Third Hokage. Their corruption must be stopped, I say. They've taken too much power from the Hokage, and they are abusing it for their own selfish purposes, says Vari. I believe it. They have too much control, says Third Hokage. You need to take back control of the village, Grandpa. Enough is enough. You make the rules and around here, and your word is law. You run this village, not them, says Naruto. That's probably part of the reason why the Naruto story is good, I would assume. Everyone likes an underdog, right? Naruto, everyone hates him. He gets ignored by his teacher who trains only Sasuke, his rival, and yet he still succeeds, he prevails. Shit like that. Stuff like that makes for interesting stories. As opposed to Naruto, who some stranger from another dimension came in, snapped their fingers. Oh my god, I'm now the most powerful person in the entire universe. And also, all of my emotional baggage is gone because I got to talk to my mom for like an hour in my head, but it only took 5 seconds. Stupid shit like that. He's just like, oh, what do I care anymore? He's basically gotten everything he wants. What should I keep? Why should I keep reading? Oh, so he can go and get over the top revenge on everybody? Whatever. You in this village, not them. You're right, Naruto. It's time to take it back to the guys. Let's go get him, I say. Kakashi Team 7 is now official, but Sasuke is now removed. Awesome. From the ranks of being shinobi and is to start over in the academy from day one, says the third Hokage. Yes, sir, says Kakashi. Sasuke was infuriated. You can't do this to me. I started this company. Just kidding, that's not what he says. You can't do this to me. I'm an elite. I am the best, says Sasuke. Go kiss your... God, why is that such a common insult for JD to say to Sasuke? What? Why is it always go kiss your brother? Not always, but this is at least the second time. And I mean, once it's like, okay, weird, but whatever. Twice it's like, why does he bring it up? Anyways, go kiss your brother, loser. I say, just for that one, Sasuke, you are hereby. What? Oh, for being a little mad that he's been, effectively completely restarted his entire shinobi career, whatever. Oh, a little outburst. I guess it's time to ruin his life. Oh, dear God. God. And, like, hasn't it always just been Sasuke is also being manipulated? Jesus. It's not like he's saying that this is an evil Sasuke. He hasn't given us something like that. So now we have to assume it's just personal. Whatever. Just for that one, Sasuke, you are hereby dropped from the shinobi program permanently, says Third Hokage. Sakura was under a huge amount of shock, and she was thinking about everything that bad she did to Naruto. Yeah, she's regretting it. It's like now that he's actually cool. Honestly, that's kind of shallow of her. She couldn't believe that she was such a witch to him, and she had no idea that she was hurting the son of the fourth Hokage. Yeah, she's a gold digger. Her heart suddenly opened up, and she realized that her love for Sasuke was a lie, and that her own mother was using her as a pawn in her diabolical plan to get power and money, and she began crying. Sakura, what's wrong? Flexes muscles, asks Naruto. Sakura got up and hugged Naruto and cried hard. Naruto, I'm so sorry I hurt you all those times. I had no idea you were related. I'm so sorry. My mom made me into someone I'm not, and she used me, says Sakura, crying. She used you? How? Asks Naruto. She told me lots of believable things about Sasuke that weren't true and made me into a fangirl. Then I was all for money and power. I'm so sorry I hurt you. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Cries Sakura. Naruto's heart ached and as she cried. Poor Sakura, says very. Yeah, I say. This is very sad. I'm tearing up. I don't know if you can tell. It's all right, Sakura. I've always known that you are not yourself, and I have already forgiven you. I would never do anything to hurt you or anything, says Naruto. Naruto, how can you be so forgiving after everything I've done to hurt you? Asks Sakura, because I'm more than willing to make sure that you, the girl I love, more than life itself, has a second chance, says Naruto. Naruto surprised everyone but me, but me and Vari by growing a red rose in his hand. Sakura saw this. A red nose. I just thought for sure. Wait, he's turning into Rudolph? Naruto, how did you do that? Fucking dude, like as if ninja magic isn't a thing that exists. You just saw him become an angel or whatever the hell. Why do people act shocked over the stupidest things? You know, like if this was a bunch of normal people who hadn't just seen one of their friends get into a gigantic vortex and then come out the other end super muscular with wings and shit like that, then sure, him suddenly growing a red rose in his hand would be quite shocking. Whatever. I now have many power. I now have many powers, says Naruto. Naruto, it's beautiful. I love roses, says Sakura. And I love you even more, Sakura, says Naruto. Naruto and Sakura then kissed, and Sakura had neon pink angel wings. Cool. Thank you for helping me, Naruto, my love, says Sakura. Oh, what is this? I'm glad I could help, says Naruto. Naruto, Sakura, I'm so happy for you, says Kakashi. Me too, Naruto. I knew you had a crush on Sakura, and I couldn't be any happier for you, my boy, says Third Hokage. Thanks, everyone, says Naruto. We start our first mission tomorrow at 7, says Kakashi. We'll be there, Sensei, I say. Who the fuck invited you? You're just a random guy who showed up. Nobody said you were part of the team. The next day, we were doing the insidious D-rank chore missions. We did it all, dog walking, painting fences, gardening, and more. These chores were getting monotonous fast in a matter of days. Me, Vari, and Kakashi trained Naruto and Sakura vigorously in everything we know. They got stronger and stronger at an accelerated rate. Naruto was placed into the Clan Restoration Act, and he told Ino, Hinata, and Tenten, as well as Amy, Yugeo slash Captain Cat, I guess. Anko, Ayame, and Hana were now some of Naruto's future wives. Oh my god, that's what that is. That's what that means. Clan Restoration Act. Like a damn like a damn endangered animal. They're gonna start they're like having Naruto breed with a bunch of women so that they Oh, that's awful. I don't like that in the slightest. Maybe it's a real thing for all I know, but still. But Naruto made it clear that he would not marry anyone unless it was true love and that he got to know them more. Oh, what a man. Oh, I'm swooning. Naruto's heritage was announced to the village, and everyone started to feel guilty about everything they've done to him. Naruto moved into a mansion, awesome, that his parents owned. Everyone made it up to him by giving him lots of fruit baskets and ramen packages. Some, however, still held resentment to him. But after the dreaded capture Tora mission, we got a C rank mission. We escorted Tezuna to the Land of Waves and destroyed Gozu and Maizu, the Demon Brothers, and Gato, and freed the Land of Waves. As a bonus, we saved the Hidden Mist and stopped the Bloodline Holocaust. We filed our report when Tazuna's daughter, and Inari, Tsunami's son, and Tazuna's grandson were now part of Naruto's family. Fuck, they did it again! They fucking did it again! Though I suppose it's possible Naruto was magically aged up. But if that's the case, then that just means that his relationship with all the other girls in Sakura is also weird. Whatever. Been there, done that. Pakura of the Scorched Style is now part of Naruto's family too. Cool. However, as we all trained, a certain evil Uchiha trained in secret, wanting to get stronger so he could kill us. But little do he know that no matter how powerful he becomes, Sasuke will never match up to our power. 7 days later, it was time for the Chunin exams, and the Leaf was hosting them. Kakashi Sensei signed us up for it. So it's time for the Chunin exams. This is going to be sweet, I say. Yeah, I can't wait to become a higher rank shinobi, says Vuri. Me neither, says Naruto. We can't get ahead of ourselves. We have to prove ourselves to see if we have what it takes, says Sakura. That's true, I say. Kono, Kono, Konohamaru appeared behind us. Hey, boss, says Konohamaru. We saw him and his friends Mogi and Udon. Hey, Konohamaru, Mogi, Moegi, whatever. Mogi, Udon, what's up? Asks Naruto. You were supposed to play ninja with us, says Konohamaru. Sorry, guys, I can't. We have to head over to the academy for the first part of the Chunin exams. They start today. Oh, yeah, be careful, guys. This year we have a lot of competition, says Mogi. Lots of genin from different villages have arrived, says Udon. Good luck, guys, says Konohamaru. Thanks, guys, I say. Oh, yeah, one more thing. I overheard that one of my friends, I overheard from one of my friends that those butt faces on the disbanded civilian council have put Sasuke back into the ninja program. And they've given him some special training. He's now in the Chunin exams and he wants to kill you, Naruto. Oh, cool. Thanks for the heads up. Maybe you should tell the authorities or whoever. Who are the authorities in the Naruto universe? Whatever. We gasp. We'll appreciate you telling us this, Konohamaru. I say. We'll be on the watch for him, says Naruto. Thanks, little bro. I promise I'll teach you all some stuff after the exams are done, or we have a break. One of those two, says Naruto. That's weird. Why does he say one, the number of those two, the word? This guy is insane, clearly. Thanks, boss, says Konohamaru. No problem, says Naruto. We left for the academy. We walked down the hall and we saw Neji, Tenten, and Lee trying to get past a hallway. Turn back now. No one has ever survived the Chunin exams, says question mark. Hey, Neji, Tenten, Lee, come here, will ya? I ask, I suppose. JD, Vuri, Naruto, Sakura, good to see you all, says Lee. You too, I say. Naruto, says Tenten, kissing him. Mwah. That's weird, because like, unless I'm supposed to assume that he's getting to know Tenten and will wind up marrying her. Otherwise, because I assume that the whole Clan Restoration Act is just meant so that he can have sex with girls and they can give birth to new namikazes, right? Am I nuts? I mean, otherwise, what else would he need all those fucking wives for? So unless he's getting to know Tenten and getting more romantic, he just kind of, I don't know. It's it's hard to know. Stuff like this doesn't usually happen in real life because there's either just purely so that they can have children, in which case there doesn't really need to be like actual romantic feelings for one another. Because I assumed his main girl, per se, is supposed to be Sakura, and so by kissing Tenten here, a romantic act not required, not at all required for what I believe is supposed to be happening with all his future wives, which is simply supposed to be making children. He either cheated on Sakura or he's getting. I don't know why I'm digging so into this. Who cares? Moving on. Hey, Tenten, says Naruto. That's all a genjutsu set up by the gate guard Kotetsu and Izumo, says Vuri. I got this, says Naruto. Naruto walked up to the door, drew out the genjutsu. I know you're trying to trick us, and it won't work, says Naruto. Kotetsu and Izumo dropped the genjutsu. Folded instantly. Naruto, that was to help reduce the competition, says Sakura. I know, says Naruto. Besides, what good would those exams be if we don't have some good competition? I ask. Oh, you all have a point there, says Sakura. So you losers are all here, says Sasuke. Sasuke arrived, and he stood in front of us. Well, if it isn't the duck-faced arrogant jerk, I say. Sasuke, shut up. Shut up. I came here to win and kill you all, says Sasuke. We'd like to see you try, says I. The Chunin exams began. To be continued in part 2 and in the next audiobook because this one's kind of long. It's not the longest by any means, but I've got some other work I have to be doing. So, yeah, weird though. I'm not sure how often a chapter is ended without like a proper, little brick of text saying, "Oh, this and that and this. Well, let me know what you think." Whatever. Uh, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.